October 29th, 2017. You're listening to What's Happening in Cleveland with your host, Kevin Baird.
Brian Baird.
Don Anderson. And Don Anderson. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. Larry will join us in 5 minutes. We started 5 minutes early because it's Walking Dead night, and I want to go home. Or I am home. I want to go downstairs and watch it when time comes.
Yeah.
So, Larry just joined us. Well, it's perfect. And Larry Mack. There you go. Larry's here now.
That's the way he likes it.
So let's just start right away. Brian's playing a video game for this week.
Brian's playing a video game, trying to fucking die from...
I'm playing... Look at that. What is that?
Some stripper, I guess, or something in Cleveland.
Yeah. I had to mute it.
Somebody just filming the strippers at... You wouldn't think that you could film the strippers at a strip joint.
Well, it looks like they're in a car.
With your camera. It's a pretty big car. I think they're standing up, but maybe. Sunroof.
Limo.
What the hell's going on? Brian, how was your week?
My week was uneventful. I got my tire fixed finally because I had the giant bolt in it. And other than that, it's like everybody else, and that's normal in the world. I'm watching Stranger Things 2. Not right now, of course.
Except for me.
And I enjoyed the last beautiful week of beautiful weather because it's done. It's Cleveland's. There are rules.
October in Cleveland is kind of crazy because it starts off kind of summer, and by the end of October, it's like winter. Like fall is somewhere in the middle of October, and I don't know where it is. A leaf falls on the ground, then it's like, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's done.
Yeah. It's just instantly 40 degrees temperature difference swing between the beginning and the end of the month. I'm sorry, go on.
And I'm playing this game, Warhammer 40,000 Inquisition Martyr, which is an action RPG. It's basically a click game or whatever. And it's in its whatchamacallit, it's in its beta, and it's actually really tough, but it's not bad. It's just it's one of those games where you only have you got to go to an area, complete a mission, and they'll only give you so many lives. Which I'm trying not to fucking die. You have to do a lot of running away from bad guys, because otherwise they will fucking kick the shit out of you. It seems like when you get rid of one guy, there are more. Where are these guys coming from, you assholes? Yeah. Look, there's only so many of you at a time. Jesus! They're all fucking bastards. And like there's little demons attacking me. Die. Anyway, you get like two different types of characters that they come up with so far. One is a Crusader, which is the guy character. If you play it, you're a guy. You got no choice in that shit. And the Assassin, which is playing a chick. But they do have different kinds. The guy character has all the heavy armor. He's the Crusader type. The only thing I don't like about this so far is that it's definitely a top-down kind of game where you're looking down on your character, which makes it really hard to see sometimes like what you're going towards. The graphics they're not too bad. Basically, like it would be like Dawn of War on steroids, but instead of playing like a whole team, you're just you. You can play co-op. There is actually a slightly active community. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of people playing at the moment because, this game hasn't really got a lot of, aside from the Warhammer community, there's really no one. And plus, again, it's in beta. So there's a whole lot of people like, yeah, we really don't feel like paying for a beta, if we don't have to.
Yeah. Like early access.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's just sort of like, yeah, that sucks. I
don't know what the rules are for early access games sometimes, because early access often just means like, I just started a game, pay me money. Like,
yeah. Well, there was like that with Starport Gemini, which I was kind of like, that's never going to fucking, they're never going to make any money with that shit, And then, it's never going to go anywhere because I had the first one came out and I'm like, yeah, well, that's all over with now, right? Oh, Jesus, where the fuck is all these bastards all coming from? And then it's on Xbox now. I'm like, oh fuck, it got released. It's completely not the same game as far as like what I played, but because they had the first one, which was really like old school graphics and stuff, and then time went by, and the second one was way better graphics. Storyline was a lot better. Easy to follow kind of game, and just the only thing I thought was kind of freaked out was when you're trying to like fly around, they had somehow inverted, like instead of when you press up, you go down. When you press down, your stick it goes up, and I'm like, all right, I'm not an actual pilot. Do I gotta know this dumb shit? Press up means up, press down means down. Let's not fuck about,
Right.
So, otherwise, going on the Cleveland area, there's a whole lot of not much. I don't know. I don't really fucking take part in.
Sorry, man. You got your truck fixed. That's good. You got around. Did you go grocery shopping this week? Did you buy?
I did today. I took my child. We were pretty happy.
You at the grocery store happy? This is scary.
Well, I took my kid because it was a good time to be had by all.
Did you buy Did you buy some seafood salad for yourself? Or?
I bought some stuff. 'Cause I'm supposed to try to kind of get myself on a bit of a diet, and going to be dying right. God damn it! I hate this fucking as a whole. You've been suppressed, and you get up, and immediately you're suppressed again.
That's life.
They're suppressing me, man.
It's an analogy of life, right there. So, the man's holding you down, Brian. All right, let's move on. Anderson, since you're playing a game too or something, why don't you tell us how your week went?
Oh, well, it wasn't as exciting as Brian's because I didn't get a new tire.
Damn it.
I know, right? Yeah, nothing. I finally did Tumbling with Tumbleweed after like 4 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. And, so all 10 of those people who listen have something to look forward to.
Was there like a bunch of panic emails from Mitchell wondering what
No.
happened to the show?
No. That's exactly what the thing is. That's the problem. Is like not from Mitchell himself, but I'm saying like how many listen? I don't know how many people are listening. I don't know who's listening to this because nobody ever like responds to anything. It's like I'm always like, hey, I've been gone for 3 weeks. People will be concerned. Nothing. Okay. And then I'll be like, hey, people, what do you want? Here's a question. And I'll put a question out there. I'll be like, people will email me and let me know what your answer is. And I get nothing. It's like, okay. I'm like, great stuff.
That's because the name of your show is Tumbling, and people put in tumbling. And so there's some guy out there getting these emails.
I keep telling everybody that. I'm always like, hey, listen, it's no G. And
there's a guy out there that's just getting all these like weird answers. Hundreds of messages.
Why are they calling me Donnie?
Girls are sending you nudes and stuff. Sleep with me now, but they're not getting.
This is your you got 5 minutes to respond. Like what?
Or some guy driving around pretending to be you. He's like, I'm Donnie Tumble.
Yeah, that's good luck to him. You can have it. That's just like
fame and fortune. You'll see him on TV eventually. He'll be.
Why would you put yourself through that? Like back in the late '80s or whatever, when that guy was going around saying he was Peter Criss. He was just a homeless dude, and he ended up on Phil Donahue. And they were like, "Well, here's Peter Criss," and they brought him out, and he's like, "Dude, why are you acting like me?" And so there'd be like a Dr. Phil or something. I'll come walking up, and be like, "Dude, you're not Tumbleweed. What are you talking about?" So, but that's it. Nothing. Yeah, there's nothing new to report. It's colder. I'm broker. I think I have to quit cheesecake. I got to find a new job.
You don't
all the usual, huh?
You don't want to do that? Come on.
I have to.
It'd be the end of an era.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, nobody would notice. Everybody would just be like, whatever.
You will never leave. They will have to close it down and lock the doors and stuff.
I wish I was that important,
and then
but I'm not.
Be like, Darren, just go away, please. Just go.
They're like, we can't handle this. We're going to lose so many guests.
Let me in. No.
Trust me, you're not going to lose. You're not going to lose anything. That's what I keep telling them, but they don't want to listen. So,
alrighty.
Yeah. Moving on. Somebody more important than me.
Larry.
More interesting, anyways.
How was your week?
I also did not get a new tire.
Damn it.
Yeah.
See?
So Brian was surprised this week for coolest event in his life. Let's see. I did also go grocery shopping though, so that's pretty exciting. Although because I hate grocery shopping, I just did the order it online and pull up outside the store and they throw it in your car for you thing, which is like the greatest invention ever.
Does it work out okay?
I love it so much.
Is it really an invention?
Everything that you ordered and
that's what our jobs are going to be in the future, though, because when the robots are basically, taking over all the transportation and your car, so there's no need for gas, and then there's no crime because you can't get away because you have a robot car. Where are you going to go? So we're just going to go to warehouses and fill out people's orders, and then we're going to go home and put on our VR gear and basically just drool. We do that already, but there's no VR gear.
Yeah, I'm down with that
yourself.
because
Kevin's got VR. Never mind.
it's the greatest invention ever. Because I hate grocery shopping.
Well, that's
so
true
much.
too. It's not like you would buy some sort of fresh vegetables or anything, so I guess you don't have to worry about somebody picking out the right tomato or something for you. So.
Well, I mean, there is that. Like
They got me the wrong pineapple.
yeah, like wait, like they bring my stuff out to the car. And I'm like, whoa. That one's bruised.
There won't be like a person. There'll be like this robot will come out there. You'll be like, I didn't order that. I don't like vegetables. And it's just going to stare at you. That's going to be like the best part. There will no longer be anyone to complain to about nothing ever. You'll just have to fucking just put up with it because the robot will just stare at you all blank face like, I don't care.
It'll just grab your shoulder with its mechanical arm and then push you down.
I've always really wanted to try pomegranates though, so it's okay.
I'm sorry, robot. Get back to the car.
If you can't talk your way out of it, it just grabs. Yeah, like you said, just grabs you.
Let's see what else. Did some trivia this week. Found a new trivia home, and it's the same company and guy that used to do the trivia that we used to go to back in the day. They did change it up a little bit, like so each week there's a theme. So I went with my friend Susie. This week the theme was Halloween and like scary movies. So it was kind of a bloodbath. Like it was just sort of like
No pun intended.
yeah. It's just like, you know, well, of course we're winning. What are you joking? What were you thinking? And then what else?
I'll go this Tuesday, and we'll lose because I always manage to convince people that the answer is the wrong answer.
What's going to happen this week is we'll go in and it'll be like, this week the theme is computers and robotics, and like Kevin will just whiff, like just totally asleep at the wheel. Staring like Apple.
Yeah. Who's in charge of Microsoft? Steve Jobs. It's Steve Jobs. Write it down.
And I'll be like,
I think it's Bill Gates.
Pretty sure that's not right.
It's Steve Jobs for real.
And Kevin's response: anytime any of us ever disagreed ever in the history of every place we've done trivia, are you going to believe yourself or are you going to believe me? And we'd always default to Kevin, and it was usually wrong. Who founded Microsoft? Daniel Boone.
Right. Or you bring Don Cease.
Ho Chi Minh.
Or you bring Don Cease and he says something really off the cuff, and then you sit there and you go, that's not right. He just guessed some element off the periodic table. There's no fucking way that's going to be right. And it turns out right. And you're like, what?
Yeah. And then he just looks at you all bitter. He's like, I volunteered one answer all night, and you guys didn't even want it, and it was right. And then you feel all bad for the guy. You're like, I'm sorry.
Goes out to his car and cries.
Yesterday went and had some Halloween time libations at my buddy's house. You know, did a little potluck, so I got to try one of my crazy hobo recipe things with actually chopping up potatoes and using seasonings and stuff. So that was super exciting. And this is how
did moths fly out of your seasoning when you opened it?
I did have to buy some new ones because I don't know. Do those things go bad? Because
sometimes,
I had a thing of parsley that I think I might have gotten in my parents' house when I was still in high school, and I've just always kept it with me. But this is how I don't know, misogynistic and whatever I am. I take my pot of potatoes with shit, and I was like, dude, these are really good. I was like, well, thank you. Dude, I think you win the prize for best dish. And then it went from thank you, I'm glad you like it, to are they trying to say I cook like a chick or something? Like I should be a housewife? Is this a thinly veiled insult? Is that what's happening?
Well, we've all thought.
Yeah, but and once you get into the libations and other recreational activities, you get even more paranoid and you become convinced. Yeah, they're totally. Fuck. Anyway,
Larry, I'm curious, since we didn't hear from you last week too. Did you ever work out the whole situation where you were supposed to watch Mindy's Dog, but you went away for 12 hours to watch a horror movie and then drove to like another city or something to get like? Was that ever?
Oh yeah, that was.
It didn't sound like a good plan when I was leaving the fire.
It was dealt with. Actually, I wound up not doing the 12 hours because
that helps.
Yeah, I like went into work that day, and I was just, I came home from work and went and cleaned up the backyard and all that stuff, and I was like, well, I can go take a nap for 2 or 3 hours before I go do 12 hours in a movie theater and everything else, or I could just say screw it, save myself the $35 or $40 or whatever it was for a ticket, and actually like do some of the stuff around my house, because one of the reasons I opted for the fire in the backyard instead of something in the house was if you may have noticed when you came into the house, it was like a war zone in here. So
it was a
desperately needed to do some cleaning because it was getting fairly bad. So instead of the movie,
one thing was out of place, and Larry's complete. In fact, last week I even mentioned how pristinely clean your place was on the show.
Oh, so. I was actually worried about bringing people in because like I got the backyard all set up, and then I was like, crap, people are gonna start showing up. I can't let anybody in here.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You have the cleanest house of anybody I know. That's not saying much considering who I know. But my god.
Well, thank you anyway.
True that.
It's better than Adams. So you can always, no matter how bad it gets, it'll always be better than Adams.
Yeah, dear God, if we reach that point, just please go ahead and stab me in the throat.
Adam said to me the other day, he says, yeah, I got to start cleaning this house up. And I'm like, again? Like, you said this a couple of weeks ago. Like, I know you're not going to.
Are you saying you need to start cleaning this house, or are you saying you need to start talking about cleaning this house?
Right. I go for talking. Go ahead.
So I ended up getting an Oculus Rift VR headset because I have. So there's two Oculuses. There's the Gear VR, which is when you stick your phone in, and then there's the Oculus Rift, which connects to your PC. And I have the Gear VR, but for whatever reason on my phone, it overheats. It gives you this warning. It's like, overheating, gotta shut it down when you're 10 minutes into anything. And also it's a phone, and so you can only, there's only so many games for the phone, They're all not so great games. So I really wanted to play some of these horror games that people play on Steam. And I was like, I'm just going to bite the bullet because, the Oculus is $400, but it comes with 2 controllers and 2 of these floor scanner things along with the headset. So that is a decent price from where it was when it was just the headset, and it cost $500, and then the controllers each cost $100 each, and so things have kind of come down. It's still not mainstream pricing, I think, but it's getting better. So I bought it, and I set it up. And let me tell you something. God damn it, scary-ass shit is what that is. It's way worse than I thought it was going to be, because I had the Gear VR, and I was like, all right, well, it's going to be similar to that. But it's like, you're really in a room. You're really in a room, and you're standing around in this room, and there's a fireplace, and it's dark, and things are creaking and shit. And I'm like, this is really fucked up, because I can lean over and pick things up, and my hands are in the game. I can see my hands because of these controllers, and I can reach over and pick up something, and there's text on it, and I can put stuff down. So I go over to where there's this candle, and I pick the candle up, and then I walk over to the fireplace, and I put the candle into the fireplace, and I light the candle, and this is just I'm in this haunted house, and shit, and then I just start hearing this tapping on the glass window. Ding, 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 ding. And I'm just I am not going over by that goddamn window, because something's going to jump out and blah! and everything. So I eventually go over to the window. Really, like I'm just kind of like looking out of the corner of my eye. Like I'm not gonna look right at it. I'm not gonna have nightmares for the rest of my life.
If I don't look directly at it, I won't be as scared.
Right, but
that doesn't work.
Nothing really happened. But I also have like a cell phone on my hip, and so I had to pick that up, and it's sending me messages and stuff. The thing about it, though, is that, like, you really are in, like, this 3D space, and you really think, like, something is going to come up behind you, which is really different than a video game. Because most of the time on a flat screen, it's got to basically come out in front of you. If it came out behind you on a flat screen, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't have any idea.
Right.
You know? Yeah. But this is, like, you hear this, like, woman kind of laughing behind you, like, and sound like peeking over my shoulder, like, I am not looking back there. Like, whatever that thing is can just kill me, or whatever it's gonna do. Eventually, I got outside, and I looked, like, I was out in this courtyard where it was raining, and I looked up, and there was this woman, like, banging on the glass, looking down at me, and then she wrote something on her phone and sent me a text. It was just crazy. It was so crazy, man. And I was just like, I gotta just put this down. I gotta put it down. It's really fucking me up. And I got the Paranormal Activity game, too, and it's just, I just can't, I don't know. I had to take a break. I was like, I can't keep playing all this, because this is just really messing me up. So next time you guys stop by.
Oh, great, yeah.
And you're looking for an experience that's rivals any fucking horror movie you've ever seen, feel free to ask. I got it all set up in the basement, plenty of room. Because, yeah, that's the other thing, too, is that you're not sort of just, like, isolated, like, there's a play space, and it's like 7 foot by 7 foot. So, like, you can turn and walk around within this 7 foot space. And you can pick things up, and you can use things, and you can, like, grab a gun, shoot things, and it's really cool. It is some cool technology. But, yeah, it's scary. It's just some scary shit. I know there's hardcore people out there, I ain't scared of nothing, man. It's dumb. I don't care. I'm a bit weak. And I believe that there's like boogans in the world, and if I have that headset on, they'll figure out some way to come through it and kill me, which adds to the fear. So that's So for the most part, that was my week. I went to the ophthalmologist for my eyeball problem, and everything's fine. I just have this weird anomaly with my eye where, like, you have this membrane covering your eye, something. And it's just normal. Everybody has it. It's just the thing that covers your eye. And it's a little bit thick near the bottom of my eye. And when my eye opens and closes, it just kind of scrunches a little bit. And it causes my eye to turn red. And I tried to explain this to my ophthalmologist when I went in and got my glasses, but she was looking at it and she's like, God, that thing's big. You got to go see the ophthalmologist, because and they thought it was what they call surfer's eye, which is this white bump thing. Also not a big deal if you have that.
Clink gets it.
But I went to the ophthalmologist, and the ophthalmologist was just like, yeah, that's just you don't really got to do anything about it. And it was like that casual that I was like, can I just walk out? Can I leave? He's like, yeah, you're done. You can go. I'm like, awesome. And I just
walked. He didn't give a fuck. He just go away.
Just walked, because I'm so used to like a nurse or somebody coming in and being like, all right, here's your appointment to come back in a week. He wants you to eat cornflakes for a week, and then sprinkle some cinnamon.
I gotta go see my doctor tomorrow,
and then come back in a week, and then pay us another $500. That's how it always is. So this was the first time when the guy was like, it's nothing. You could just get out. All right, great. So one less thing to worry about for now. I know that it's just a calm before the storm, because I'm just getting older. More shit's gonna break and fall down. All right, let's move on to our drinking game.
I got to go to see my doctor tomorrow, because you have to see your doctor every 6 months to renew your Adderall. If you don't, they don't renew it. And I'm like, great. So how am I gonna do that? They're like, well, your appointment's in January. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, well, you can come in and see her, the main doctor, and she'll see you. I'm like, oh, okay, when can I do that? Monday. I'm like, all right. So of course, For the first time ever, my job's like, well, you have to come into work because we totally need people. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to happen either. I got to go get my prescription. Well, what time is your appointment? I'm like, look, let's just forget it. I'm not coming in. All right. I mean, you guys do have the capability of bringing in more people, right? I mean, I belong to this massive organization that rents drivers. Remember how big important that was? Okay, well, go fucking find some drivers. I'm not coming in. You know, are you fucking high? I'm like, my doctor.
So what you really said, or you were like, it's at 9 in the morning. Well, you'll come in after.
I feel yucky.
Right.
Yeah, we'll come on in after, and we'll just have you run out to some place so that when you leave to get up the next morning, you won't be able to do it because you'll be exhausted. It's like, no, we're not.
We'll see Brian posting from some roadside motel.
Yeah, in the middle of fucking nowhere.
In Michigan.
Don't know where I am. I got no meds.
Just saying, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Everybody hates me. Hate my life.
I do.
Let's. If you never played the game before, basically, we're going to read off the Metro News out of Cleveland, and if somebody's been shot, you have to drink. If it happened on the east side, you have to drink. And if Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha announces it, you have to drink. And sometimes there's hat tricks where you get all three.
Woo!
This week I'm drinking Diet Pepsi. Not quite alcohol, but Larry will probably fill that in for me.
And me.
Cleveland, Ohio. The man is dead after he crashed head-on into a fuel tanker early Sunday on Interstate 77 in Cleveland.
That'll happen.
That's probably an act of terrorism gone wrong. He's like, I'm going to take this smart car and ram it into that cellar. The crash happened at about 3:15 a.m. Cleveland Police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha said, Drink it. A 43-year-old man was driving a 2007 Chevy Trailblazer SUV southbound in the northbound lane of I-77 when he smashed into a 2017 Volvo fuel tanker.
Yeah, that'll do it.
The SUV's driver suffered fatal injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene by paramedics, Cha-Cha said. He has not been publicly identified. The fuel tanker's driver did not suffer any injuries, Cha-Cha said.
How?
He was driving a fucking fuel tanker. A head-on crash caused the tanker to spill a large amount of fuel. Oh, that sounds sick.
Yeah, don't blame him.
Oh, it just
the driver's fault.
It just didn't explode. I'm thinking movies where, like, as soon as he, like, scratched it, it's
right.
just kind of
You bump it against the guardrail.
Because I'm sitting here thinking, like, I didn't see anything on the news about an explosion, but that's just my dumbness.
They cleaned it up, I guess.
Yeah. They brought the specialized crew to come in there. And then the guy that, like, hit, I don't know what's going on, but this guy just rammed me. Oh, yeah? Why'd he ram you? What were you driving like? What are you talking about?
I'm sure he's got to go in and get questioned for, like...
Oh, yeah, drunk screen. That's a given.
They're like,
real.
Brian, they're like, Brian, what were you doing? He goes, I didn't see the accident. I was too busy looking at my phone.
Checking his logbook.
Yeah, my electronic shit would... I had to take all these online tests and shit, right? And one of the things is because of the cameras in our truck, they report, like, well, we think you guys need to really work on driving in adverse weather. And I had a question with them, like, what adverse weather? We got these cameras, like, between spring and summer. What? It rained. They're like, well, yeah, you guys are going too fast in rain. So I'm like, okay, how fast is too fast? They're like, well, ideally, if it's raining out, you should cut your speed by a third. If it's snowing, cut your speed in half. I'm like, what, rain? We have to go down to, if we're going 60, that means 45. They're like, yeah. I'm like, do you see anybody in the world driving that fucking slow? They're like, it doesn't matter what they're doing. We want you to do that. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'll take the F. Fuck them. What are they, nuts?
You should take an F in your math, because if you're doing 60 and you cut it by a third, you're doing 40, not 45.
I
Shut the fuck up. It's 45.
Cleveland, Ohio.
That's cutting it by a quarter.
A woman was found stabbed to death Sunday morning on the city's west side. Cleveland police said.
Changing the game.
Very few details about the incident were immediately released. The woman, who has not been publicly identified, was found about 9 a.m. at a house on the 15,000 block of Montrose Avenue, a few blocks east of Impet Park in Cleveland's Cam's Corners neighborhood. Police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha said. Drink. The woman's death is being investigated as a homicide, Cha-Cha said. No information regarding a stabbing suspect or arrest was provided.
Just came to a crashing home.
Hold on, there's one here I wanted to read.
Yeah.
This one happened in Fairview. A resident reported finding bloody fingerprints on her rear glass door October 20th. Officers also found additional blood smears on the sliding glass patio door. It appears entry was made to the patio, but the suspect did not gain entry to the house. The resident told officers that she heard clanging sounds around 4 a.m., but had assumed it was the dog.
Assumed it was her VR.
What's going on with your home invader where he's already bleeding before he gets into the house? You know?
Yeah.
It's not.
Maybe that's why. Maybe he needed a Band-Aid. He's like, I'm just gonna go knock on this lady's door and see if she's got a Band-Aid.
Just help me out, man. Come on.
Let me in. I'm okay. I'm your friend.
I'm gonna get blood all over the glass if you don't open the door for me. No.
You can trust me.
Open the door. Don't come in.
Let me in.
That's got to be pretty scary, though. You know, you wake up.
You
you're
think?
You're having your cup of coffee or whatever you drink in the morning, and you're looking out the window at the morning, and there's just these bloody handprints all over your door. That's not good.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Ohio. Look at it. A 48-year-old Rally's employee. It's a burger place for anybody interested.
Sonic, Checkers, same
was
thing.
fatally stabbed during a robbery at the East Side restaurant. Drink.
Okay.
Early Saturday morning, police say. The incident happened about 4:30 a.m. on Kinsman Road near East 142nd Street. Cleveland's police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Chacha. Drink.
Kinsman? I never heard of any violence over on Kinsman.
The male employee who was not somebody with wanted their big Buford was really upset. The male employee who was not identified was stabbed in the chest and face, police said. He was taken to University Hospitals where he was pronounced dead, police said. Police said the robbers gained entrance to the restaurant when another Rally's employee who had left work for the day came back to retrieve something he had forgotten. The victim opened the door for him, and the two were ambushed by a man who rushed in and started fighting with them, Chacha said. Another man with a gun followed. They ordered the employees to the ground and then told them to open the safe. They could not open the safe. One of the robbers picked up a knife in the kitchen and stabbed the 48-year-old employee while he was trying to fight them, police said. The robbers ran out of the restaurant. Technically, they weren't really robbers since they couldn't open the safe. Unless they stole the knife that they took out of the kitchen.
Good one.
More like the murderers ran out of the restaurant. Really, though, if you're going to commit murder over not getting money at a Rally's, you didn't plan your... I guess it wasn't just staying all night at the dollar store, but didn't sound like a good plan. Jesus.
It never does.
Cleveland, Ohio. Officials have identified a 30-year-old man who was shot to death. Drink. Friday in the parking lot of Burlington Coat Factory in the Steelyard Commons Shopping Center.
No. You mean the world's worst Walmart? There was a murder in that area?
It really should have happened long before now.
The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office has identified him as Timothy Settles of Cleveland. Spokesman Chris Harris confirmed. The shooting happened shortly before 3 p.m. on Friday on Steelyard Drive. Cleveland Police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Chacha said. Drake. Settles suffered a gunshot wound to the head, police said. Also a drink, if you didn't drink already. Officers found Settles in the driver's seat of a Chevy Equinox, police said. A passerby spotted him in the car. Just walking by. Some guy just sitting there with a bullet hole in his head. Maybe we shouldn't go to Burlington Coat Factory, honey.
You know what it was is somebody walked up to the car, was like, let me see if I can rush up on this fool and get his car. And then he was just like, oh, shit, dude's already dead.
Everybody's just committing crimes on everybody.
It's a Walmart. That's known. Steelyard Commons is the worst Walmart in the country.
It is. I've read it.
Never been in it?
It's like, wow. No, I knew better.
No, I don't.
Has anybody here been in it other than me?
I don't. It's way too far away from me.
Yeah.
I've been in it.
I don't go in Steelyard Commons anything.
They got a Guthrie's down there. That's nice. That's good to eat at, Guthrie's. But yeah, that Walmart's the worst. They don't even have tiles on the floor. It's just concrete, like in the building. I swear to God, you go in there. They don't. They're just like screw it. What's the point? Just put concrete down. It'll soak the blood up better.
It's true though.
Cleveland, Ohio. A 15-year-old boy injured Friday night when a car he was in slammed into a building after shots were fired at it. Drink has been released from university hospitals. The 18-year-old driver was shot and killed in the incident. The Cuyahoga Medical Examiner's Office has identified the man as Martell Thompson of Euclid. As you said, you should drink. Spokeswoman Chris Harris confirmed. A 17-year-old male passenger was also injured. The 17-year-old remains confined at university hospitals with facial injuries. Cleveland Police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha said, "Hey, it's a hat trick. Everybody drink." The incident happened just before 6:30 p.m. Friday at the corner of East 93rd Street and St. Clair Avenue, Cha-Cha said. The three males were traveling in a Toyota Corolla, reported stolen out of Richmond Heights, Cha-Cha said. The car passed the area of East 93rd Street and Parmalee Street when shots were fired by a group of males standing there. So this guy's driving a stolen car past East 93rd Street, and some guys on the corner were like, "Hey, that's my car." They happened to be strapped, and they just pulled out their guns and just they're unloading on the cars that drove by.
Like, if ever there was a story that was a microcosm of the east side of Cleveland, there it is.
Yeah.
If you go there and steal a car, someone else may shoot at you while you're doing it.
Because they're going to try and steal the car that you just stole.
They don't like Toyota Corollas very much.
Like imagine like you steal a car and then get carjacked. I mean, that's the east side of Cleveland.
Thompson was shot in the head and accelerated the car into the abandoned building, Cha-Cha said. Cleveland Division of Fire and EMS personnel helped the three males out of the car. The car caught fire. He was taken to university hospitals where he was pronounced dead. Multiple bullet casings were found on Parmalee Street, police said.
It wasn't an empty building. It was full of death.
What a fucking nightmare.
Nightmare, yeah.
Jesus Christ. This is, just tells you shit's going, we drink and talk about this stuff, but this shit never ends up on the news. No one's talking. We're the only ones talking about this shit in the Metro section that nobody reads. So
ever.
So
we're the only ones talking about this, and we've made it a drinking game.
Yeah. It's the only way anybody's going to pay attention.
It's the only way you can handle it.
Cleveland, Ohio. One person was killed in a Friday night shooting on Cleveland's east side. Double drink, police said.
Friday night gunfights.
The man who was only identified as a 19-year-old was shot in the head just before 7 p.m. in the city's Glenville neighborhood.
Oh, there you go.
They said the man was in a late model. Oh, this is the Toyota Corolla. This is the same story. Well, you got some extra drink.
Lucky you.
Sometimes the Metro section just repeats stories, but they don't tell you.
Yeah, they would just want to fluff it.
This one I thought was funny. This one actually happens in Cleveland Heights, which is actually a different city than Cleveland, but it's might as well be the same.
Right.
At 1:45 a.m., October 24th, police were called to the BP gas station's 7-Eleven convenience store at 3983 Mayfield Road as the store had been robbed at gunpoint.
Oh.
Dispatch informed reporting officers that a man had robbed the store while carrying a book bag.
And
that the suspect fled the scene riding a purple girl's bike.
Ain't nobody gonna...
And they probably got cleaned away, didn't they?
Officers went to the nearby home where a young male was a suspect in a shooting and where a purple bike had been seen. After investigating, it was determined that this youth was not the suspect. Police are continuing to investigate.
Mine.
It's like, clearly, officers, you can see that is a male's bike. The bar is straight. So
put it in the back of the... You want to come back to the station and get it.
Where women have the sloping down version of it for whatever reason, since they wouldn't care. No, it's a height difference thing, but I never understood why women and men's bikes.
Because women wear dresses. Back in the day, the women wore dresses.
Oh,
so they don't want to have to lift their leg up over the...
Oh, listen to you, Mr. Bike Etiquette.
5 years of high school, brah.
Good job. Yeah. If you're going to rob someplace and all you got is a girl's bike, it happens here. Cleveland, Ohio. A 68-year-old man suffered 6 gunshot wounds Thursday.
Drink 6 times.
Yeah, drink at least once. Thursday night during an attempted carjacking outside his home on Cleveland's west side.
Oh.
The man was taken to Metro Health, where he remained on Friday, according to police and a hospital spokeswoman. Only because the people at Metro were like, this is too easy. I mean, he's got 6 bullets. We'll actually save this guy. God, he's lucky, man. He's going to make a rap album. Police haven't publicly identified any suspects in the incident that happened at about 7 p.m. Of course not. The victim told police that he picked up food from rallies.
Oh.
This isn't a good. This episode
every
is
time
good commercial.
What is this?
rallies.
A Tarantino film? What is Quentin Tarantino writing this? Because like everything's connected.
And returned to his home on Lorraine Avenue near the West 51st Street in the Detroit Shoreway neighborhood, according to a Cleveland police report. The man parked his Lincoln Town car outside and sat in it as he ate his dinner. Once he was done eating, he sat in the locked car and watched a video on his phone. None of this sounds like a good idea if you're on West 51st Street. 2 men approached the Lincoln on its passenger side. One man yelled at the victim and threatened to shoot him unless he unlocked the car, the report says. He told police that both men shot at him when he lifted his hand up and turned toward them, the report says. You know what's crazy about this to me is the fact that, like, if you go off of this story, there's just some guy who went out and got a burger and then parked his car someplace to eat his thing and watch a video, and then 2 guys jacked him. That means there's just a couple of guys just hanging out, and they're just like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What's that guy doing over there in that car over there? I don't know. Let's go shoot him in the face and steal his car. Like, maybe that's really going on, but that is scary. That's more scary than somebody lying in wait because it's so fucking random. It's just so random. And Larry, listen, you remember those days where you would order Subway and then wake up in some strange neighborhood with the sandwich on your lap?
Yup.
I'm glad you don't do that anymore. Because you might not make it home.
Shit has gotten scary for those of us who like to drive around drunk and
throw our
sleep
lives
in the
away.
middle of the road.
I thought that was the idea, though. You were just kind of like, I give up.
I mean, so random.
That's why I do it now. But.
All right, let's move on. A couple more of these. I don't know if you guys heard about the Strongsville middle school teacher. But this longtime Strongsville middle school teacher found dead in her kitchen was shot and stabbed to death, according to the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner.
Fail somebody at their class or something?
People that don't know, Strongsville is actually like a really nice neighborhood. I mean, you know.
It's suburban as suburban gets.
I don't want to necessarily live there because the traffic there is hell, but it's the absolute opposite of East Cleveland.
True that.
Police have announced no arrests in the death of 49-year-old Melinda Plazkovic. She was found dead Monday night, and her husband called 911. The medical examiner statement released Friday said that she died of wounds to both her body and head. Well, considering she got shot, that's also a drink. Police responded about 8 p.m. at her home of Blazing Star Drive after a man who identified himself as her husband told a 911 dispatcher that she was stabbed to death. The husband complained to the dispatcher that his family dealt with attempted break-ins at their home for over a year and lashed out at Strongsville police. He told police he believed that they are being targeted, but they don't know who would do that. The Strongsville Police Department requested through a Facebook post Wednesday that the public offer some patience as they try to solve the case. But department officials have not said whether the public should fear any danger that a killer remains at large. Look, it's going to be a total Dateline husband or son or some family friend.
Absolutely.
Or, repairman guy. It's always one of those type of things. Like, there's not some, like, crazy guy in Strongsville, like, just going down the street,
That'd be kind of awesome if it was.
Whose house shall I go into next? I don't think that's happening.
Kevin just hopes that's the story.
That would be cool.
Not if he was coming after you.
A little excitement. Listen, I got a crazy dog that will just take a chunk out of him first, and then I'll put on the VR gear, and, no, I don't know.
You're good to go.
No, it is kind of crazy, but we'll see what happens.
Like, I was reading about that when it was fucked up, because basically, they, like, chased some teenagers that were smoking pot out of the backyard, and, like, for the last year, they would get, like, harassed and pranked, and, like, the house got broken into, and like shit's been missing from their house, and
it's a pretty big step up though. From
I mean, it was gradual stuff.
Yeah, it's not like you're toilet papering somebody's fucking.
There was gradual escalation.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, it could be that, but it for I mean, it's kind of weird.
You don't know these kids today; they're savages.
We're growing a stronger tomorrow.
But you get to. That's the other thing too. Like stabbed and shot. That's.
Yeah, they're mad.
Like that, but that's
just making
that
sure
doesn't sound
Where's
like
the silverware? Tell me where you put the silverware.
That tells me multiple doers is what was going on.
Maybe
that's just someone making sure the job's done.
I mean, that's really extreme.
That's why you do one to the back of the head. I mean, you use a knife. That's,
It's not as bad as driving a stolen Toyota Corolla through the east side of Cleveland at night, but it's pretty bad. Cleveland, Ohio, an off-duty Cleveland police officer nearly lost consciousness Thursday night as she struggled with a man who stole her city-issued service weapon.
Oh, Jesus.
Police reports identified the victim as 47-year-old Officer May. Her first name hasn't been released. Cleveland police and clergy members urged the robbers to turn themselves in during a Friday press conference. I don't understand that. I don't understand why
the church tells me to do it.
Yeah, the clergy is going to come out and be like,
look out for the priest. He kicks ass for the Lord.
Jesus doesn't want you to steal cops' guns. May was working an off-duty security detail at a Taco Bell on Lee... Hold on, I lost my screen.
Lee Harvey Oswald Drive.
On Lee Miles neighborhood. Cleveland police spokeswoman Sergeant Jennifer Cha-Cha said, double drink, that the struggle happened about 10:50 p.m., where May escorted a customer to a vehicle in the parking lot. A police report offers a different account, saying that May was getting ready to leave and walk toward her own car. Surveillance footage later showed that she was placing items in the backseat of the car when she was attacked. See, folks, you don't want to go to the fast food places in Cleveland at night because even the police escort gets assaulted and attacked by the people
get killed
in the two rally shootings and a Taco Bell shooting. This is really upsetting. What
People really love their Taco Bell.
You really want to just get some food. Back in the 80s, if you wanted to get some any kind of fast food after about 11 p.m., there's just nowhere to go. You had to get on the turnpike with Anderson.
Right.
And you had to drive out to like a rest stop area to maybe get something.
Like a 24-hour McDonald's.
Because there was seriously nothing. Now, I mean, I think you can get anything at any hour, any day of the
week. Or
Hardee's. There's at least one restaurant open somewhere that's 24 hours.
I've never seen a Hardee's other than at a truck stop.
Out west,
they're on the turnpike. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like other than on the turnpike.
It's not a truck stop. That's the turnpike.
Oh, because they don't have truck stops on the turnpike.
You could park there, but if it was a truck stop, the cops wouldn't be able to go up to your truck going, "What are you doing?" Because the owners of the truck are like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
I don't.
Our business.
I don't do that.
I don't know nothing about that. It's an evil truck driver.
I think the closest Hardee's is
drugs
in Seville, where Anderson used to live.
There's one over in like Willowick too.
Village of the Damned.
It's probably further away than the one in Seville.
Well, for Larry, who lives like an hour away through like the Appalachian Mountains,
or Brian
to his house.
Yeah, if I happen to get stuck out that way.
Crazy.
Willowick's not that far from you.
Crazy curvy roads. And
okay, so I don't need to hurry up and get the gaming table for gaming night, is what I'm hearing.
No, it's fine. It was
because I live an hour in the middle of Appalachia.
It's like there's like no street lights. It's the curviest up and down road where the speed limit's like 50.
They still use cannons.
There. It's fucking
like
crazy.
What? I don't know what goofball way you came.
I don't know either. I did take the highway home, which was a little bit better, but it was still like really far. I was like, I can't believe how far this is. It's really weird.
The only reason there's no street lights.
I don't understand. Yeah. Okay, well, anyway.
Hey, it was either this or Kalamazoo. And Kalamazoo's like 4.5 hours.
I like that Bob Seger song. I think I'm going to Kalamazoo.
So this one's about Anderson. It says an
Oh,
unidentified male tried to break into Captain Taco, 16099 Brook Park by damaging a door.
Gotta eat.
Home of the Conquistador.
It happened at about 3:40 a.m. October 11th. I figured since we're on this fast food thing. The male tried to enter the restaurant for about an hour, but was unsuccessful. An hour.
Feed me.
What does that tell you about the police?
Nobody saw him breaking in.
Right.
Standing there looking sad, yanking on the door handle for an hour.
Brook Park Road is full of prostitutes. And it's like, what is the police presence like? Oh, it's nothing. This dude sat out here for an hour trying to break in.
It's like trying to get into the Captain Taco of all places. Like
I had to eat. I was hungry.
He's chucking shit at the glass door and it's bouncing off. He's kicking it.
There's gotta be some tacos in there, man.
Once again, home of the Conquistador.
Hungry.
Police described him as a thin male in dark clothing.
That's none of us.
With a kiss.
That's why he's so hungry.
With a kiss shirt. Oh, his image was not captured on video camera.
Because you can't. Got it. Maybe it is done.
There's just like a shape. Police didn't say how they obtained the male's description. Police didn't say how they obtained the male's description, and he's not captured on video. That's a little weird, cops. That's a little strange, fellas.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That just doesn't seem right. I can't go to the recyclable paper drop off without the cops pulling up to me being like, "What are you doing?" This guy's like sitting outside of Captain Taco for like an hour trying to break a lock.
What's he trying to open it to? Like, is he just like picking up rocks and stuff? And just...
Well, the trash can's probably chained to the concrete. There's a lot of them have that concrete shit in the middle. It's like, well, I can't lift that clearly. So yeah, he's just throwing whatever he finds in the fucking dumpster. He's just like hurling it like cups.
It happened at 3:30 in the morning. Means he was there from 3:30 to 4:30 in the fucking morning.
He's like running and jumping and bouncing off the front door. Picks himself up, kicks it.
Obviously, go rob Taco Bell because it's.
There's more money.
They fuck the cops up over there. Just Jesus, and they take their gun too. What Like I don't care about your police protection. I'm gonna fuck this cop up and take her gun. That's not right.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Jesus Christ, poor woman. Finally, East Cleveland, Ohio. Drink. An East Cleveland man died Thursday after he was found sitting in a car with a gunshot wound, police said. It's
the same story as the other one.
That's bad writing, Cleveland. Cleveland.com. He was found sitting in a car with a gunshot wound. That means he was sitting in the car, and next to him was a gunshot wound. It's like, what's up?
I thought maybe he was sitting next to a gunshot.
Yeah,
like, hey, how's
exactly.
it going? You want to go get some Captain Taco?
Yeah, it's 2 drinks. Jonathan Singletary, 45, was shot sometime before East Cleveland police officers found him on Orinoco Avenue at Manhattan Avenue. The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office said. He died after paramedics took him to University Hospital's Cleveland Medical Center. Officers found Singletary about 12:20 a.m. while investigating a report of a man sleeping at the wheel of a car. No arrests have been made and no suspects have been identified, police said. The shooting remains under investigation. No, it's not. It's East Cleveland, not east of Cleveland. This is the city of East Cleveland. They can't afford anybody to investigate this.
Listen, when they say it's still under investigation, that just means they're like still talking about it.
Yeah. Wow. So what'd you find? Nothing.
We're not really going to find out what happened.
No.
Just how things are going to be.
Did you hear about that guy? No. All right. Never mind.
So, all right. So that's it for the news blotter this week. Sorry for all the people that were shot. Some of them were killed. And I really am not going to go get any fast food on the east side. Or Captain Taco. Although apparently Captain Taco, a very safe place to be if you're inside.
Home of the Conquistador.
Because you can totally be inside, and some guy can work on the door for an hour and not get in. What was that door?
You can sit there and stare at him while you're eating.
Is it like a steel door or something? I don't know.
It's probably just...
I haven't been to Captain Taco
doors
in about 20 years or more, I think. I haven't been. It's such a weird restaurant. It's kind of, out there.
Well, it is a taco joint. I mean...
I don't know, but it's pretty good. When I was there 20 years ago. I haven't been there since.
They haven't changed anything. They've never changed the design or the sign or nothing.
Just
no updates.
I forget about it all the time, to be honest. I mean, I don't go out of my way to go there. I think you can get a margarita there. I think they have a liquor license, though, which is also weird.
Brook Park Road.
Because it's just this taco stand type of thing. And you get like a plastic cup margarita.
It's like next to the Hooker Hotel.
Yeah. Jesus.
What?
No, he's got my ass kicked badly.
I was like, what do you care about hookers?
All right, lonely boy, calm down.
Brook Park is kind of weird because it's like, why did that city get picked out to be the place where like all
airport.
of the adult entertainment? Oh, is it because of the airport? I guess that makes sense.
I mean, I'm not a professional in this stuff,
have
Larry.
all the answers tonight, Don. It's interesting.
I do.
The,
I'm the little boy that cried wolf.
of Cleveland that you know some.
I'm Encyclopedia White.
Yeah, because Brook Park, for folks that don't know, it has a bunch of strip joints, but they're like they're not.
Nice.
I think they're not allowed to serve alcohol at the strip joints, or they historically have not been allowed to. I think maybe that may still be the case.
I always used to go there and get drunk all the time.
Did you really?
Sure.
No.
Yeah. I used to get my mail forwarded to Amber's Lounge.
Well, you could go to the topless places and drink. You just can't go to the fully nude. But that's in Cleveland.
Yeah, full nude. Can't.
That's Cleveland, but I think for a while there you couldn't get drunk at a bar because you used to have to go to like there was that bikini bar. You'd have to go there first and drink, and then you could go to someplace like Crazy Horse or something because you couldn't,
Circus.
You couldn't get a drink there. Pinkies.
Ugh. Pinkies. Juicy Lucy's.
Toledo Lounge. That was a good scary one.
That's the horrible one.
Yeah, so it's like on the west side, which is like, you know, normal suburbs and stuff, but then there's just the Brook Park just had all these strip joints where most cities didn't have any, for the most part. I mean, there was like, I think North Olmsted had like Glitz or something, which was like a bikini bar.
Circus.
Yeah, that didn't last too long.
You get like a can of beer or something. It was terrible. Girls were stripping the man of war, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than Lido Lounge, where they like all had like either gunshot wounds or like C-section scars.
Half of them are amputees.
Yeah, they'd be like on stage hanging off the pole with like a cigarette in their mouth.
doing that one eye squint because they got smoke in their eyes.
Right. You're crying as you tip them.
Like, tell your daughter I said hello.
I'm so sorry your life came to this.
Tell your children I hope they have a good Christmas.
I don't really want to tip you, but that guy back there that's got the axe handle and the sunglasses inside, he's making me so nervous right now. I'm just going to give you $1. Don't think I actually like you, though, 'cause I don't.
And she does the thing where she like, you know, grabs her garter and you're like, no, I'm just going to leave it here on the stage for you. You can pick that up later.
Please don't touch me. Don't touch me. Please don't.
You slide it over to her with like your grabber.
Like the Halloween stick or whatever.
You gotta put plastic gloves on before you touch anything.
Mask.
Yeah.
You walk in and lay out like a tarp before you sit down in front of the stage.
She reaches over and absolutely nobody fucking comes near. They all back out of their chairs.
You did that.
Try to scoop back, but they can't because the chairs are welded to the floor, so nobody hits each other with it.
She's trying to get her legs around you. You're giving her money and pointing to your friend. Him. Just go to him.
Yeah, she tries to put her legs around your head, but one of her legs comes off.
Just don't bring that over here.
He's the bachelor. He's the bachelor. Give him in.
Shut up, man. No, I'm not.
I'm not. I got a girlfriend.
Yeah, strip joints in Cleveland.
No, there's some fine establishments, but yeah, that's the one where when you're hanging out at that bachelor party for that dude
you've given up,
who's getting married, but nobody really likes him that much because he's annoying. And he's like, "Hey, let's go to a strip club." You're like, "All right, I'll drive," and that's when you take him to.
This is cheap.
Because you're spending like $10 for the night there.
Yeah.
And you don't much care that, you know.
Yeah, you're not going to like Christie's or.
Yeah, you don't care if he likes you. Is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
He's not really your friend.
Really expensive at the upper scale.
Yeah.
It's either that or he's the one friend that's kind of like a feminist, you know. So you want to just take him to the worst fucking place on earth, so you know, humanly possible, just because you know that his Facebook posts are just going to be gold.
All right.
Or maybe I'm the only one who thinks
that.
No,
that's good. I don't know any feminists. Are you kidding? They wouldn't survive around you guys. Jesus.
Wait, I'm
I know. I was going to say I know plenty of feminine
Larry,
sex.
you are the
but they're not
absolute-
guys.
Do you bring that up when you go to the strip joints that you're
I
feminist?
do. I tell them, like, I tell my friends that drag me into these places against my will. I sit there and I'm like, that's somebody's daughter up there that you're ogling. I'm going to go home and pray for you is what I'm going to do.
Well, All right, folks, that's it for the show. We will be back next week with more from Cleveland, Ohio, and its Tales of Woe. If you guys got any shout-outs or anything?
Nah, I got it.
Thursday nights at 11, Tumble In with Tumbleweed. That's with no G.
No G, Tumble In.
Tumble In with Tumbleweed. blogtalkradio.com. Yeah, that's it. Good night.
Peace.
Late.